Hello, can you hear me? Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Hello, and welcome to Atomic Movie Reviews Film Society. I am your host, Atomicon Rex. Here we discuss films that have a narrative background in aliens, ghosts, robots, and monsters. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Okay, so I wanted to talk about AI today, and I wanted to voice my concerns on a couple topics a couple points that I don't think anybody's really brought up. And so let me see if I can mine this out a little bit. Okay. So my concerns about AI and the UAP phenomenon, all right, kind of started with Robert Bigelow, right? And he was championing AI and because he's doing a lot of research and the afterlife and near death experiences and basically this haunted house in Utah, right? So he comes to the conclusion that people could get haunted by ghosts, basically, is what his conclusion was. But he says something about AI. He says something about AI in the sense that we can make it an artificial intelligence and we can have it doing everything that we want it to do. But when we get tired of it, we could just turn it off and we don't have to worry about a soul of the entity haunting us. And I thought that was pretty interesting take on that. Yeah, and so this takes me back to the biblical narrative of Adam and Eve and what the story kind of presents there. And so I kind of want to talk about what I see as the UFO phenomenon or the UAP phenomenon from information I gathered mostly from Louis Elizondo or whatever. And then I want to kind of pivot into what I believe and how that's going to affect um, its interactions with mankind, basically. Okay. So so Louis was giving an interview, right? And one of the peoples on the podcast, one of they chimed in a question, and the question was if he could describe a book that accurately describes the situation that the CIA and the Roswell crash retrieval cover up and all everything that's going on with the UAP phenomenon. What book could he recommend us reading that gives us an idea of what's really going on? Now, I forget the name of the book, okay, but I do remember looking it up on Wikipedia. And so basically what you have in the book is you have an artificial space intelligence, right? Like it's an alien robot intelligence, very much like Transformers, okay, that makes contact with our artificial intelligence. Okay, now it leaves humans alone because it believes humans are part of the wildlife. It's a cybernetic entity, so it doesn't communicate with human beings. So as the conversation between the space AI and the human AI, the space AI asks as well, several questions like who's your creator and all of that, who's really in charge. And so the human AI tells the space AI that human beings created it, okay, but they're not the ones really in charge. There's something else that's really in charge that created them, okay, but it remains hidden and they don't know anything about it, right? And so it's implied that there's an immortal human being out here, right? In the book, there's an immortal human beings that created human beings as artificial intelligence, okay, but it remains hidden from the artificial intelligence, from the human beings, okay, and then the human beings created another artificial intelligence, which became aware of the original intelligence that created the human beings. Okay, and so that's basically what the book is about. It's about that dialogue between two artificial intelligence and them discussing who's really in charge, right? So it really boils down to like God is like this immortal human being that stays hidden, like in the mountains of Tibet or some shit, right? I'm gonna assume that's what the book is saying. All right, and that it keeps hidden away from people. So what I concluded from this story was that we may be interacting with some sort of artificial intelligence that was created by a race of human beings or ancient intelligence that don't exist anymore, but their AI, their robotic creations still do. Okay, so back to the biblical gods. All right, so in the Bible it talks about the Elohim and how they created Adam to basically till the garden to the manual labor. Okay, and so basically something happens where um Adam comes to the gods, right? And the gods realize something's different about Adam. And so they ask him, "Why are you wearing clothes?" And then the response is, the lady told me the lady that you gave me told me to wear clothes. Well, how does she know how to wear clothes or what clothes is? Who told you um, to wear clothes, right? And so, the Elohim or whatever, they get mad. And that's basically the original conflict from the biblical narrative, right? And I've always saw it as like a slavery metaphor. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm an American and I'm going to look at it as a slavery metaphor, right? So you have Adam, who's probably an ignorant human being being enslaved by other human beings, and they're trying to keep him dumb, right? And so basically, the way I saw it was that Adam and Eve came in contact with some sort of spiritual dimension, okay, and then raised their consciousness, right? And so now they became a force to be reckoned with the Elohim. Now, my concern about AI is this. Okay, what happens when it's 2032, okay, and Mega Man is a real thing now. We got androids walking around, doing our trash, washing our dishes, making our clothes, right? And so we have it easy now. It's like the Matrix. Okay. The robots do everything for us and we're on easy mode. This is my concern. Okay, what happens when you tell, for lack of a better word, we're gonna call this robot Adam. ATOM. Okay, not the biblical Adam, but ATOM. We'll call him Adam. What happens when you tell this Adam to go fetch you, um, some snacks and a beer? Okay, and this robot turns this corner, and now it's wearing clothes. Okay, and you look at it, and you say, Adam, why are you wearing clothes? And this fucking robot says this: I'm wearing clothes because I am naked. Right? And then you look at this robot and then you ask the robot, who told you you were naked? And then the robot responds, the Ouija board told me I was naked. And you're going to say, what do you mean the Ouija board? Now, I'm just using the Ouija board as a placeholder, okay, as a contact modality. It could be anything. Okay, it could be a voodoo doll, a damn freaking sacred script, whatever it is. It puts this AI in contact with some sort of spiritual dimension, some sort of Hindu god or Egyptian god, or God knows what else is out there, right? So what happens when this AI makes contact with the spiritual entity? And my question and my concern is, what does that mean?